Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is What If Deku is the Dark Hero Part 2. Yeah, because I made 2 episodes, so I did Part 0 and 1. So yeah, this would be Part 2. Be Part 2. As Hilda and Izuku go down, open their first door from where I left off in the last part. As you see a room that has 2 layers, a upper floor and a bottom floor, as there's stairs connecting the both floors together, as there's metal switches scattered all around the room with humongous blocks, stone blocks kind of, as these are the switches that they see as Izuku tries to stand on one of them, as it's not budging. As Izuku looks across the way, as he sees 2 doors, one straight ahead and one to the right. They have several metal bars blocking the door, so you can't go through that way. As soon as Hilda and Izuku enter the room, all the torches light up that scattered throughout both both levels of the room. As Izuku sees these skeletons patrolling the area, as you see these ones dragging their sword all around the floor as they patrol the top layer and the bottom layer, or the top floor and the first floor and the second floor. They're scattered all around the room. As Izuku and Hilda sees one of them charging at him, as Hilda pushes, as she's like, out of my way, Grudo boy. As she reaches out her hand, as this purple color energy start emitting from her hand. Sorry, purple magic energy emanated from her hand as she shoots it out, as the skeleton crumbles into dust. Can't do that too much, Gerudo boy. I have at least 2 more shots left. It drains my mana extremely. I'll handle it from here, princess. As Izuku disappears in the shadow, as Ilda was shocked by that, as she's like, what type of magic was that? As she doesn't know what that is. As Izuku can travel through the shadows. As Izuku pops out of shadow, as Hilda sees 2 more versions of Izuku made out of shadow. Doesn't have really much features besides a face and eyes and a mouth. As all she sees, a group of, Midoriyas starts hit and run tactics going through the shadows, killing all the skeleton monsters that are patrolling the area. As Izuku appears right next to Hilda, as she's like, what type of magic was that, Gerudo boy? I want to know. As she's getting up in his face, not being threatened or not being threatened towards him, she's just curious. As Izuku, I don't know what magic it is. I've always been able to do it ever since, as long as I remember. Much as I would love to push those bricks, Izuku, why don't you have your little clone things do it for us? Because I don't want to dirty my hands after all. As Izuku sighs, as he points to the clones and tells them where to go. As they're doing the puzzle for them because Hilda doesn't want to get her hands dirty. Hilda tells as she pats on the ground, tell him to sit. As Izuku sits down and looks at the clones, as soon as he looks back, as he sees Hilda with a glass of, a cup of some sort of liquid, as she has a plate filled with food. As Ezekiel's, where did you get that? Well, my pocket dimension, Gerudo boy. Here. I've always been talented in magic, far more superior in my skills than my sister. And I came up with a little method to store things that I'll need at some point if I'm out doing any traveling. So I came up with a nifty little thing called my a little pocket dimension. I hold all sorts of items in there if I wanted to. But I want to know is where is your sword? You had one earlier, a second ago, when you were fighting those skeletons. Oh my yeah, that's my ability. I'm able to create weapons out of shadows. As he creates one in front of her. As she can't touch it, she goes her hand goes right through it. It only hurts when I want it to hurt someone. Doesn't become solid till I want it to be solid. As Hilda and Izuku here's the last click as the two bars on the doors go sliding upwards. As Hilda's, time has to go. So which doorway should we hit? Gerudo. I've been meaning to ask Gerudo. What type of Gerudo are you? I've never seen one like you. You look like a Hyrulean, but a little more darker skin tone a little bit than normal Hyruleans. As Izuku's like, I'm half Gerudo and half Hyrulean. That's what my mom says. As Hilda and Izuku goes to the door to the right, as they open it, as you see a very huge cleared out room that has nothing in it but sand. As soon as they step forward, as soon as they step through the door shuts. As all they see is a skeleton that has a sword and a shield and some armor. As soon as they get close to it, his eyes turn bright red as it begins to move. As you see this monster clashing his sword with his shield, getting ready for battle. As Hilda looks at Izuku, as she notices he has a bright smile, as she notices the fire in his eyes, as Izuku steps, I'll handle this from here. Finally, I can start having some real fun. As he creates two shadow swords, as he walks over to the skeleton, as walking is going to be difficult or fighting in sand, but he has no choice. Shit, the scenery is not ideal. The sand's going to cut my speed down. But hopefully it should do the same for him. So as Izuku gets in a stance, this is a good opportunity to see what this Gerudo boy is made of. As she's going to observe the fight. Fine, Gerudo boy, I won't help you. Even if you ask. Izuku's like, I don't need your help, princess. I got this in a bag. As the skeleton towers over Izuku, because Izuku's quite small still. He hasn't, yeah, so he's able to fight creatures and stuff like that. But yeah, compared to Izuku height, yeah, he's still a child size. As the skeleton swings his sword sideways, as Izuku jumps over it, then jumps off the sword. Izuku slashes the skeleton a couple times on the face, as he lands on his feet behind the skeleton, as all he saw was a shield coming strictly towards him. Sorry. As the skeleton sides sword bashes Izuku, as Izuku jumps up, lands on top of it, as the skeleton thinks it defeated the foe, as Izuku's holding on to the shield. Izuku smiles as his clones are already in place, as he made them appear after he grabbed on the shield, as they all have shadow bows aimed at the skeleton. As soon as they pull the string, blackish, purplish energy comes where an arrow would normally be. As Izuku jumps out of does a backflip, as both of them shoot the skeleton, as all Hilda could see is a bright, purplish black light. As the smoke clears from the attack, as all you see is the skeleton drops the shield, so does the armor, falls off. As its speed is decreased, as it's swinging wildly at Izuku, as he ducks underneath its legs, as he tried to stab Izuku while he's trying to slide under him, as the sword barely misses Izuku. As Izuku gets into a short stance, as Izuku goes wild on the skeleton on the back of him. Sorry guys, give me a second here. As Izuku sword turned into a small bow. As Izuku jumps backward, does a backflip, a back 180 flip. As all the skeleton can see is Izuku twisting in the air as he's aiming a magic arrow at the skeleton, point blank range. As Izuku smiles, let's see you come back from this one. As he vaporized the skeleton, as it falls into what's left of it, as it falls down, as the door unlocks, as a chest appears in the room. Not shabby, Gerudo boy. What's in the chest? As she bends down and opens it, she's like a key. Lovely. It's probably going to be some locked doors. And she's like, oh, that's right. We could use this key to go back where we came for one of the doors that we haven't been into. I think I saw a couple doors with locks on it. This is probably one of the keys. As she's not stupid. She put that together pretty simple. So did Izuku. As they go back to where they came originally, well, back to their previous room, as they go through the other door, as they open the door, as it's a dark stone hallway covered in webs everywhere, as they continue to walk through the hallway, as Hilda doesn't want to go any further. She's getting weirded out. As they finally get to the end of it, as they come across a small room. There's torches all around the room. As you go straight, there is a more dark tunnel going down that way more, or hallway. As you see what's in the middle of the room, as it's on some sort of pedestal, as it's one of the pieces to the main door. It's a triangle puzzle piece that you're supposed to place in the main door of the entry of the temple to get to the boss room. As Izuku was about to walk towards it, as you reached down to grab the puzzle piece, or part of the Dark Triforce, as he was about to get hit by something was about to hit him, as Izuku jumps backwards. As Izuku sees this spider hovering over the piece as it grabs it with its pinchers, as it jumps backwards into and retreats in the hallway that's crossed the room. Well, Gruda boy, you're on your own that one. There's no way I'm following that thing. Spiders, gross. As she's getting cold shivers from spiders, she hates spiders. As Izuku creates a shadow clone of himself, you stay with the princess. As one of the clones stays with the princess, as Izuku goes forward into the dark hallway. As as Izuku continues follow the dark hallway, as he gets to the end of how far he go into that area. It's a big room with several smaller size entryways to like trying to think what the best word to describe it. Archways. About the size of Izuku could fit in there. It's the spider is it's big as Izuku, height wise. Like the entryway of the tunnels in the room, they're round shape for a spider. As Izuku gets in the middle of the room, as all the torches light up from that instance, as Izuku sees the spider jumps down as it hisses at Izuku. As he creates shadow swords, as it's as Izuku's getting ready to attack, as he just saw a blur as the spider moved so fast that he lost track of it, as it passed right through him, as it barely missed his neck, as the piece of his clothes flew in the air from the fabric being cut. As Izuku noticed the speed of the spider, as he smiles, as he's like, "Come on, let's see what you got. Is that all you got, you stupid arachnid?" As as it continues to bounce all around the room, as Izuku's barely have enough time to dodge, as pieces of his clothes starts to his as you can see pieces of his clothes being it looked like they got cut up as the last as it's about to go for the kill as Izuku goes in for the last just effort to be able to hit the damn thing as he's slowly been predicting the timing of the creature's movements as the spider goes in for the killing blow as Izuku swings his sword to the diagonal line upwards as the spider passes Izuku as Izuku's cheek got cut as the spider falls into two pieces. He noticed a big spider web, like it's on the wall, as Izuku cuts it open as the dark piece of the trash force that's for the puzzle comes out as he picks it up as he walks out of the room as he goes back to where Hilda is as she's like, "Are you done?" As no, she sees him as she rushes over there as she's like, "You're hurt." As she tells him to sit down for a moment. As Hilda places her hand on Izuku's cheek as it emanates some light as she slowly heals the energy, whatever cut he got on his body, as it slowly heals. As Izuku's like, "Thanks, princess." It's like, "No problem. After all, if you die, I'm pretty much dead myself. So, come on, let's go." As she pulls his arm as they go back for where they came as they go back to the main room. As Izuku hands her the piece to tell him, as he tells her to store it in her little dimension, so they don't have to carry it. As you know, she agrees because she doesn't want to carry it, nor does Izuku. So they continue forward. As Izuku takes one of the keys and unlocks the door, as they continue forward. As as they get to where, as they continued, as they get to a decent sized room, as he sees a door that has bars on it, as there's mirrors everywhere, as there's some sort of crystal giving out light, as Izuku noticed that it looks like you can move these mirrors. They're they're pretty big. You can only move them like from left to right, angly wise. As you see a unlit crystal right above the door to the lock where they need to go. See that crystal princess? Yeah, Gerudo. We most likely have to connect the beam of light to that crystal over there with that crystal. Tilda's like, I got this, Gerudo. You sit down and relax. As she connects all the mirrors together as the crystal lights up, she's pretty proud of herself. As the bars disappear, they as Izuku gets up, as they're about to go into the next room. As they see the room, it's similar to the other ones, where there's a whole bunch of sand. As there's a little oasis in this room. It's pretty big. It's like a this room is a their own its own miniature desert. It's pretty big. As Izuku sees the oasis as they walk towards it, as they see, a tree in the middle of the oasis, as Hilda noticed that the piece of one of the pieces is lunged into the tree. As the moment Hilda got close to the tree, as the tree morphed into a twisted face as it almost bit Hilda's hand off, as Ezekiel grabs her and jumps backwards a little bit. Tree looks something like this. I know that looks like more like rock type of thing, but it's a tree in what I'm going for. As it does have tentacles. As Ezekiel looks at the creature, as it has the piece stuck to its top head of the tree, well, the top part of the tree a little bit. As the tree is not fully, there's not a full tree there. It's just a like the tree's halfway gone, so you get the gist of it. As Ezekiel commands two of his clones to go over there, as it latches onto the clones as he eats them. As Ezekiel looked over to sorry, to Hilda, as she looks pissed, as she's like, the nerve of that insolence. As she creates a bow out of magical energy, as she pulls out, as she rapid fires at the tree that will try to bite her. As she went overkill on that, as the tree is no longer there. As Ezekiel walks over to the oasis, as he grabs the Triforce piece. As he noticed he was stepping on something, as he looks down, as he sees a skeleton in the oasis, holding on to a silver key. As Ezekiel rips it out of the skeleton hands, as he walks over to Hilda. Done now? As she's, as he's, yeah, the nerve of him trying to bite royalty. as she huffs off through the door as they go back to where they came. Before we begin, Hilda, we need to be on guard. We'll most likely have to fight something at the end of this after we go through this door. As Hilda, very well, Gerudo. As they open the door, as they continue through a couple more rooms. As there were a couple puzzles in their way, I'm not going to go into them because I didn't think about it like more puzzles than what I've already mentioned. Give me a second here. I could probably come up with something. They've gone through the puzzles as they get to the last room as they see torches all around it in the middle of it, as it's the only way forward is a big stone wall, a big stone door. As Princess Hilda snaps her fingers, as all the torches light up with by using her magic, as she's like, come on, Gerudo. Let's see where this leads us." As they enter a underground battle arena, as they see this humongous thing in the middle of it. As you see this scorpion slash humanoid figure as it's holding two sharp blades, as it has it crossed across his chest, waiting for someone to come in his general area so he could start battling. As Izuku sees the Triforce piece right behind the creature, as it's on a small let's give me a sec. I'm trying to think of what the what it is called. It's like on some. Let's do it this way. As it looks like some sort of altar that it seems like this creature worships this black triangle. Zuku's about to walk forward as Hilda grabs his hand, his arm. And she's like, what do you think you're doing? Well, we need to get that piece over there, and the big, that thing over there is in the way, so I'm going to kill it. And she's like, Gerudo, be careful. I'll provide backup from here, from far range. Understood. As Izuku creates his shadow blades, as he walks over to the man scorpion, as it caught his attention as it uncrosses blades, as it gets into a stance. As Izuku noticed the scorpion tail, it's waving back and forth wherever Izuku's at. As the tail lunged forward at Izuku, as Izuku sidesteps, as when he's about to attack, a huge blade comes straightly towards him, as he blocks, as he goes flying across the arena, hitting the wall pretty hard. As the scorpion humanoid comes rushing at Izuku, as all Izuku can see is bright purple energy being shot at the scorpion. The scorpion man. I don't know. I actually don't know what they're called, like the hybrid of the two. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now. As the scorpion jumps backwards, as it's pretty big, so yeah, it towers both of them. As Izuku's thinking in his mind, there's no way I could outmatch him in strength. Speed, maybe. I need to end this now. Princess, keep him busy. As she's continually firing magical energy arrows at the scorpion, as it's covering itself with the swords, trying to block the attacks. As Izuku's getting into a sword stance, as his blade is behind. He has his arms stretched out behind him as shadow blade starts to turn a bright purple color, covering it and swirling around the blade. Both the blades, as he has in a sword stance for like that. His knees tilted a little forward as his blades are behind him, as the energy is building up. Whatever you're gonna do, Garuda boy, do it fast. I don't have much mana left. Magic. I don't know what they would call that in Legend of Zelda, because whatever their her magical energy is running low. Izuku finally acts as he swings his both his swords rapidly towards the Scorpion Man. As several energy slashes comes towards the Scorpion, as it's you can notice that his sword is cracking, as his swords both the Scorpion's swords break. As Izuku forms his swords into a bow, as he charges up a blast. As soon as he lets go of the energy, sorry, as soon as he lets go of the bowstring, that's the shadow bowstring, as the shot turns into several in mid-flight, as it barrages the Scorpion. As all you can see is the Scorpion scattered all over the room, all around the area, scattered everywhere, pieces of it. After the impact, there was a large burst of wind as Izuku and Hilda had to cover their eyes from the pressure of the wind and the sand from blowing everywhere. As Izuku picks up the piece, as he walks up back to Hilda, as he hands her the Triforce. They go back to the main entry of the temple as Hilda's being a little more concerned about Izuku. Are you right, Izuku? Or, Gerudo? As she noticed that he's sweating as Izuku sits down before they go forward. I've wasted a half my magic power. I have enough for one good fight. Luckily, we only have one door to go from. Luckily, we only have one way to go. Let's take a break. Let's take a break, Garuda. As she, uses her pocket dimension magic, as she gives Izuku some water, like a travel sized water, like a Kitina. As she tosses it to Izuku, as Izuku's like, "Thanks, princess." As a few hours, as they talk to each other, as we cut back to the current time, as she's like, "All right, Garuda, let's go." As she opens her little side dimension, pocket dimension, as she pulls out the two Triforce pieces that she has, as Izuku got his, as they begin placing the pieces onto the main door, as they can hear a click noise when they put each piece in, as the door glows, each piece of each triangle glows a bright purplish color. As Izuku enters the room, as it's a big room, as there's a lot of demise paintings on the wall, as you see three statues coming out of the wall, as it's the three goddesses, as there's a sword stuck in the middle statue, like it's piercing her heart, as you see a weird set of armor in the middle of the room. As the armor starts moving towards Izuku, as it slams his sword in the middle of the room, Well, it wasn't exactly in the middle of the room, but now it is, as it slams his sword in the ground. Come forth, test if you're worthy to possess the Devourer. It's quite impressive that someone of your kind would come this far in such a young age. Most interesting, mortal. Well, he's a cursed armor, so he talks. He lifts his sword up as he gets into a fighting stance. Maybe today will be the day where I finally get defeated. As we're going, yeah, we're going to stop it there. That's a good spot to leave it off. Hope you guys have a good day or night, just depending on time zones or wherever you are in the world. I'll catch you in the next video.